What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Chinist. So today is May 23rd, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 24 with 21 different titles. I have read through this stack. Starting off with DC, I only have 4 titles, I think, this week from DC. 4 great titles. So yeah, starting off, we have Justice League No Justice. So this is part number 3 of 4. This is a mini-series to help reboot the new Justice League title coming out here, I think, next month. So yeah, this has been pretty fun so far. They've kind of split up all the Justice Leaguers and, Teen Titans, along with villains. You know, there's 4 different celestial gods, that DC introduced. They're known as Titans, who planted 4 different seeds, across the galaxy, on multiple planets. So they're trying to destroy the seeds. At the other time, there's these trees, a little bit complex here, but these trees are trying to reboot in order to get energy to, destroy the seeds. So yeah, a little bit of a complex storyline, but man, great action. I enjoy the team dynamics that they kind of set up here. You find out the suits are kind of restricting, certain powers and, restricting them from doing certain things. They kind of woke up with all these suits, not really sure what the suits are at this point in time. So yeah, very intriguing, great action. Man, pick this one up if you are going to be picking up Justice League in the future. So yeah. Alright, I've been waiting for this one as well. This is Flash War. This is part 1. So the Flash number 47. So this is between Wally West and Barry Allen. So this is really all from the events that, Reverse Flash kind of set, or Dr. Zoom had set up, going back against Wally West. Going back to, taking his family away, he has, Wally West has like all of these, all these memories from the various multiverses, so to speak, or the various DC continuity. So, we go all the way back. They kind of show glimpses of like the original, like JLA that, here we go, that Wally West was part of. This is the JLA that Mark Waid did during the 90s. So yeah, so he's having all these visions, he's not, everything's just kind of flooding back. And this is what really starts that rift between Wally and Barry Allen, which starts this little Flash war here. So yeah, very, very cool. And you also have the introduction of this, I forget what they're called, like the anti-rogue team, but these rogues supposed to be good. However, like, one of them spawns the yellow Sinestro ring, so not really sure if they're good, or bad, but yeah, a little bit of a twist coming up at the very end. Highly suggest if you enjoy the Flash, man, this is a pretty good storyline they've been kind of building up, and man, ready to rip into this one. All right, the final issue of Supersons. So this is Supersons number 16. This is the final issue. There's some, premonitions of things to come, a little bit of foreshadowing, which I may show, they show it on the first page. There's a Adventures of Supersons. You kind of find out, you don't know who the narrator is, but you find out that there's a volume 2, to come. So it's not very, very definitive. I'm not sure if they're going to switch this title over to Adventures of Supersons or not, but yeah, definitely there will be, teammates together in the future. So this is kind of against the Kid Amazo suits, and they've captured the Justice League. This all happens before, I think, like they said, like Action Comics number 1000, I think is what they said. That's the editor's note. But again, very cool action. I enjoy how Robin, man, he really thinks like his father. He actually fell back on, if y'all read the, or saw the Doom DC animated movie, where basically Batman has like a plan to kill each of the Justice Leaguers, just in case something, were to go bad for each one of them. I'm sure y'all are aware of that storyline out there, but Robin actually uses like one of those plans. I thought that was pretty cool. But again, this kind of, finishes up here at number 16. However, I'll show you the very end where they show Adventures of Supersons Volume 2. So this guy, you don't know who it is. I assume it's Jonathan. But he puts volume number 1 up and gets out volume number 2. So I guess we'll find out what happens in the future. But for sure, I know they're changing up the Teen Titan team lineup a little bit, and Robin's still there. So yeah, we'll see what the future brings there. All right, the last one from DC, we have The Terrifics. Man, I love this title so far, starting at number 1. I really feel this team dynamics really works out. You got the funny guy, you got the strong guy, you got the intelligent guy, and you have the, the female character that kind of brings that femininity perspective, to the team, because if not, it's just like total like bro team. But yeah, man, really enjoy it. I love the dialogue. I love the humor of Plastic Man. Love it, dude. And I will be picking up this new Plastic Man coming out by Gail Simone. So yeah, really enjoy this title. Again, a lot of similarity to the Fantastic Four. Traveling back to Phantom Girl's home planet, and a little bit of a realization. She finds out how much time has actually passed since she's been in the Phantom world when she first went there as a baby to where she is now. So yeah, a little bit of a little sad thing there at the very end of this this one issue here. But yeah, enjoy this title so far, The Terrifics. Alright, starting on the Marvel side. So I have a Midtown order. I think I have the, man, I think it was either the wraparound or the connecting variant of this this one coming in. This Iron Man issue number 600. Huge milestone issue for them. This is actually the incentive by Oliver Coipel, I think is how you pronounce his last name. But man, great to pick this one up at one of my LCS. The other LCS had it, and like one of the guys right in front of me picked it up like right before I got there. So a little a little frustrated with that, but yeah, happy to pick this one up. This one was actually listed at like at $25 on Midtown. Not sure what it's going for on eBay, but yeah, pretty cool issue. So I really don't pick up. I picked up Riri Williams when she was Iron Man, but since Tony came back, and I think I went up to like issue number 11 maybe on the Riri Williams side of things, and I got out of it. So I know some of the storyline through watching YouTube and some comments from other YouTubers. This one really tied like everything together. So this was the absolute last issue written by Michael Bendis before he actually left to DC. So he kind of like tied up every single storyline that he had out there since he started the Tony Stark run, or started the Iron Man run, going all the way up to Riri Williams. So there's a lot of Riri Williams like set up here in this one, for her to go forward. Not really sure if Marvel is going to utilize that or not. So they're going to totally, go back to issue number 1. And I'm not sure if they may do the issue number 1 and then put the 601, below it. Not really sure about that, but this is going to go for a total new reboot. But really enjoyed this one. So there's a lot of storyline that kind of goes into this one. So if you're an Iron Man fan and you kind of picked up the storylines along the way, you really want to pick this one up for closure. As a collector, it's a number 600, so milestone. I would definitely pick it up. But just a little bit more reveal here. I'm going to skip to the very end, and it kind of surprised me because they kind of skipped to the very future. And here's a spoiler coming, but they actually showed Tony Stark in the future, and this was where he actually became like Doctor Strange. He picked up the magical rights or whatever that title is, and they actually showed that when they did the Iron Man Generations with when Riri Williams actually went into the future and met this Tony Stark. So I think that's the only I guess continuity or only other closure they showed beyond that Generations. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, next up, Black Panther. So this is yet another reboot that they started. I think Black Panther, I think it went up to like issue number like 16 or maybe 15. Went back to number 1. So I picked up, this was like a low ratio, maybe like a 1-to-7 ratio, because this is only listed for about $7. But this is one of the retailer incentives. And I also picked up a few of the Art Germ covers. So I'm going to put these two in my PC and just kind of, this was my reader copy. I'll throw this one in my spec box. So I was a little bit confused on this one. So I am not a true Black Panther fan. I love the movie, but I don't really follow him in the comic book world. So I was totally lost in this one. So I was really unsure if this was current time, was it the future? I felt it was the future. So what you have, the overall premise of this is, so you start out with Wakandans. In Wakanda, we get into space travel, and we feel that the best defense is a good offense. So there was like a group of Wakandans that kind of like went off into space, kind of started like their own colony, so to speak. They spread the Wakandan like into multiple galaxies. But their ideology kind of left Wakanda when they left planet Earth. So they actually came back to Earth. They actually took some Wakandans and used them as slaves, on the slave trip. So come to my surprise, and really unsure who a lot of these characters were, but apparently T'Challa is the main character in this one, you know, and I guess he's drawn differently. And again, I'm not really sure if this is the future. I don't know if this is maybe like his grandson or something. I am totally lost in regard to like what this timeline is, but this one was very action-packed. If you're a Black Panther fan and you're a fan of the cosmos, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, this was a very good mesh, you know, that they introduced here, this #1. I am not going to pick up #2 on, but if you're a Black Panther fan and enjoy the space galaxy conquest type of genre, check this one out. All right, next up, Infinity Countdown. You know, I've been picking up most of these. I skipped, you know, just a few of them. But, you know, I was not a true Darkhawk fan back in the day when I was collecting in the early 90s. I kind of skipped on Darkhawk. I just felt like, you know, I don't need another Birdman with wings or metal wings. You know, there's enough of that in my opinion. But when Marvel did those little one-shots here, I think it was like last summer, the Darkhawk issue was actually my most favorite. So kind of getting a little bit more into Darkhawk. I actually picked up my first issue of Darkhawk, I think a couple months back. So I picked up, I think, issue #1 through 4 maybe. So yeah, pretty cool concept here. So, you know, and again, I don't know too much of the Darkhawk mythos, but you have like these, let's say, Darkhawks. They come from another realm, and they're trying to come into our realm. So this is like the main objective for the current Darkhawk to amend. So come to find out, like I thought this artwork was pretty spectacular here, kind of throughout this comic. A little reveal, he had the gem that kind of makes him Darkhawk. They kind of explain in here that it actually destroys his body and creates Darkhawk. And apparently there's like this tree of shadows, tree of shadows, that actually gives the gem the power. And apparently there's something happened to the tree was destroyed, not really sure, but yeah, so his powers are limited. So yeah, pretty cool. I think when he actually comes back with his own title, I am going to pick it up. So yeah, Darkhawk. Okay, going on to the Marvel wedding here, we have XMen Gold. So this was very exciting. So the last one kind of finished off with the bachelor party. Colossus was abducted. So everyone is trying to chase down, and I forgot what his name was, but the guy who kidnapped Colossus going into space. So you have the rest of the X-Men team trying to hunt him down, trying to re-secure him. Very, very good action. You know, not too much. Well, I guess this kind of falls into the wedding, and here are the escapades of the bachelor party and the bachelorette party. It became more of a rescue mission. But yeah, a lot of great action in this one, and I love how Storm she now has the Stormcaster hammer. Man, excellent. It like really amplified her weather mutant ability. So yeah, love this one. There's a lot of good action here in this one, issue #28. So yeah, XMen Gold. All right, Weapon X. So this is, again, as I said, a great, like, pure actions, you know, slice them, dice them type of storyline. So here was part 2 of Sabretooth, who actually took over for the team. Logan is in the background, back at the base, healing up. Omega Red, yeah, so I always enjoyed him, you know, introduced in X-Men #4, X-Men Volume 2, #4. So he has a hold of Sabretooth, while the other team, and this is like a whole battle, very, very good twist here at the end, to where, you know, Omega Red actually may become good, or may actually join up with the team. So yeah, very good dialogue between Sabretooth and Omega Red. I have not really read too many titles with Sabretooth, so there was like a lot of, you know, usually any issue that he's in, he's just like fighting. This was like the most dialogue that I've actually ever read from Sabretooth, I think. So yeah, really enjoyed this one title, while the other part of the team is trying to you know, moral code issues, I guess, is kind of going on in the background. But yeah, Omega Red was really the main title, or the main story here. So yeah, Weapon X. All right, next up, Champions. So, you know, very similar to Teen Titans. You know, at times I like one title more than the other. This was the new team lineup. Cyclops left. I forgot who else left, but I think Wasp joined on as well. Pretty cool. So this was kind of like a little one-off mission. This is like part 2. So they go off, you know, ecological issue with the polar ice caps melting. They go investigate, and along the way you have Sam, who gets shot through the chest, you know, by a laser by these drones. Come to find out, it's the drones of this guy. I've never heard of him, but he goes by Master of the World, whoever that guy is. So come to find out, he's trying to fix the ice caps, but a little bit of conflict ensues here. So yeah, enjoy Champions. You know, if you like the Teen Titans and you're not picking up Champions, try to check this one out. Alright, another Hunt for Wolverine #1. This is Mystery of Madripoor. So this is pretty cool. So this is really all the females who kind of had like a history with Logan. You know, if not maybe like a love affair history, you know, some sort of sentimental type of history. So this was them, you know, going to Madripoor. They find Logan's old apartment, I guess so to speak, and he has like his old, you know, his stash there, you know, his memorabilia. And this is really, in this one issue, it's really them reminiscing about Logan. And, you know, all these Hunt for Wolverines kind of, you know, it's trying to highlight why Logan is so important to, you know, the Marvel Universe. You know, how he's touched, like, so many people across the Marvel realm. In my opinion, is what they're trying to do with these Hunt for Wolverines. So, yeah, this one was not too much storyline, but really touching, you know, just how Logan really touched each one of these women. So, yeah. I enjoy this one. So yeah, Mystery and Madripoor. Alright, next up, Star Wars. So, you know, as I said before, if you enjoy the movies, I highly suggest to try to cross over into the comic book realm, because there's a lot of good storylines that kind of occur here. So they're still on Mon Cala. One of the, you know, political higher-ups of Mon Cala is kidnapped, trying to figure out how to get Mon Cala to still join the Rebel Alliance. They really need those cruisers to defeat the Empire. So they're trying to figure out how this is all going to happen. A lot of great action happens here in this one with the main team. You have, of course, Han and Chewie. So yeah, again, if you enjoy Star Wars, I highly suggest to try to pick up some of those trades out there. Alright, so we have Star Wars Annual #4. Surprised that this has been out for 4 years now. So this was pretty cool, you know, little one-off type of storyline. Of course, this is, you know, this is all canon. But they kind of introduced like some older Sith and a couple of the older, like a very ancient Sith lightsaber. And the very cool highlight here is really Luke, who gets a hold of this lightsaber. And of course, it has that the cross hilt, just like Ben Solo. And after he kind of gets a hold of it, he starts slicing up through these stormtroopers, and he feels that, you know, he kind of like feels himself with rage, vengeance, and he feels like he's kind of like looking at himself like in third person. So this is like a glimpse of like the dark side. So I'm not really sure if this is like the first, you know, inkling of Luke kind of struggling with the dark side of, you know, experiencing like what it is. But I thought this was pretty cool how he handled it, you know. So if you're interested in the Luke character and the dark side, yeah, check this one out. So Star Wars Annual #4. Alright, last up from Marvel, we have Old Man Hawkeye. So this was one to where, you know, I loved Old Man Logan. However, I really felt Old Man Hawkeye was just like, you know, like a cash grab. But after reading that #1, I really enjoyed that storyline. So yeah, I went ahead and subscribed to this one. So this one has not let me down so far. Love the story. They kind of you know, build up a very good storyline here. Of course, he's going blind. He's going out for just one more kill. This was a pretty good fight between the symbiote and Hawkeye. Then in the background, you have the ultimate hitman, Bullseye, who's trying to hunt down Hawkeye because he's like one of those last superheroes out there, and he really wants that challenge. So yeah, really enjoy the action here in this one, action packed. So yeah, Old Man Hawkeye #5. Alright, moving into Image, we have The Beef. So this is #4. Man, really enjoy this comedy here. So, you know, the artwork is more of the bubblegum genre artwork, but once you kind of get past that, man, the adult humor that's in this one, and this was really, really adult oriented. Hilarious. So you have almost this entire narration by this cow who's kind of explaining like what's going on, you know, kind of explains what the whole beef livestock industry, like how it works. You know, I thought some of those things in there were pretty interesting. But yeah, you know, not too much of a reveal, but, you know, as I show in the title, like, man, they actually killed this lady. This kind of like fuels the, I think there was like a good 2-page splash, yeah. They actually kill the lady, and this is where, you know, he actually he gets the power of the cow, uses the chemicals that are in the cows that he's eaten all his life to turn into this superhero. So yeah, man, enjoy the action, enjoy the humor that's in here, and again, completely adult oriented. All right, next up, Regression. So this is number 10. Cullen Bunn does a great job at, you know, there's a lot of storytelling that's kind of slow at first, but it's kind of like a slow burn to kind of build up that world. So, you know, a lot of Cullen Bunn stuff, in my opinion, is better in trade, just because you kind of get like all that storyline together. So Regression, man, was one to where I enjoyed it at first. It got a little bit slow, so I got out of it. Picked up, you know, thumbed through a couple, thought it was good, so I picked it up again. And yeah, it's been pretty good so far, you know, getting back into it. So you have all of these, you know, various characters, and they find out that they've lived, you know, like hundreds of lives throughout time. And it takes a while for like the previous lives to kind of come back to them. And there's kind of a reveal here in one of the main characters to where you find out like this one person has been killed, murdered, like every time, like thousands of times, to where, like, you know, the only purpose for this person to live is to be murdered. It's kind of like the mentality here. But yeah, pretty cool, you know, kind of a little bit deeper storylines here in my opinion. But yeah, Regression, I enjoy it. All right, I have enjoyed this one quite a bit. So this is Barrier. This is number 4. You know, this one has the landscape type of format, and has the height of a magazine bag. If y'all are trying to figure out which bag and board this goes to, I've been using the magazine bag and board that I have. So yeah, the horizontal, you know, format of this and the artwork alone, man, I'd say check it out just for that. So as you find out in issue number 1, you know, kind of like a twist at the end, but this is really a alien type of storyline. I enjoy how there's one Spanish-speaking male and an English-speaking female, and there is no translation on the Spanish side. I really like that. Yeah, a little bit different because they normally always translate, or they kind of like through exposition like let you know what's going on. But you know, this one you just kind of gotta like figure it out just through the artwork. So man, I really enjoy that. It makes it a little bit more realistic. Love the coloring in this one as well. So again, if you're looking for something a little bit different, you know, this format, I say just check it out just in the format alone. But it's been a pretty good alien story so far. All right. Next up from Aftershock, just one from Aftershock, Brothers Dracul. Another one by Cullen Bunn. I love his dark monster type of storylines. So, you know, I enjoy history. So, you know, Vladimir the Dracul, you know, he became, you know, that legend of him that happened in real life became Dracula that we know now. So this is kind of like going back and kind of like rewriting history to where here are the two brothers that existed in real life. You know, things happen just how we know it, but in the background there were actually what they call vampire, and these are like cave-dwelling, like blood-sucking type of monsters. So they actually expose them here, have a little fight. Pretty cool. Very, you know, right off the bat, these two brothers are pretty good at killing, you know, these things. But yeah, really enjoy the storyline that they're building up here, man. So if you are into vampires, this is kind of like a little bit of a twist to it, man. And they've done a pretty good job at the storytelling so far. Love the artwork as well. So yeah, check this one out if you are into vampires for sure. Brothers Dracul. Okay, pick this one up. I normally do not pick up this title at all. One of my good buddies is really into this title. He loves it, so I think I'll probably borrow the trades. I love the movies, you know, when this came out, or the movie Big Trouble in Little China, man. Watched it 1,000 times. So I picked this one up just for the cover. Love David Lopan, or Lopan. I love this portrait. You know, kind of like a Bettina style, you know, portrait type of artwork there. But yeah, pick one up for the PC. Pick one up, just kind of throw in the spec box. So I think it was really the artwork that kind of like the interior artwork that kind of like threw me off, you know, a little bit. Why I didn't, you know, totally enjoy these titles here. But again, I'm going to try it out and trade and see if I like it overall. So yeah, Big Trouble in Little China, Old Man Jack. Alright, got one from IDW. Actually, yeah, just one from IDW. Delta 13. So this is kind of like a space, like horror, alien type of genre. Just kind of reading through the solicit. I am not really sold on this title, to tell you the truth. So overall, you know, the artwork alone I felt was just kind of like sketchy, this a little bit subpar in my opinion. You know, I like the horror, I love the coloring of it, but the artwork itself, you know, just was not a fan. Maybe just like a 1.25 out of 5 in my opinion. In addition to that, the storyline, this #1 issue just did not really set it up very well, in my opinion, to where, you know, there's not enough, you know, foreshadowing, there's not enough storytelling here to even want me to, you know, yearn to pick up a #2. You know, I think I may thumb through the #2, but definitely will not be subscribing to Delta 13 at this point in time. Okay, next up, The Prisoner. So this is by Titan Comics. This was an old TV show that came out, I think, in like early 60s, I think like 63, something of that nature. You know, I saw it all in syndication. You know, I loved it. This was kind of like a Twilight Zone, to where, you know, even at the end of the show, you don't really know like what is going on. You know, like, was this all like a dream? You know, what's a dream? What's reality? It's like one of those like LSD type of like weird, you know, type of storylines. So this comic really, you know, took the essence of that, and you're really like kind of skipping throughout you know, time. He's skipping throughout like memories, throughout dreams. It's really like that old TV show, man. They really did a great job kind of like taking the essence of what the TV show was and putting it here in this comic. So yeah, if you were into that original Prisoner, so it's like the CIA type of a guy. He tries to get out of the spy business. He has information, so instead of the agency letting him go into the public, they put him on this island that's really like a prison, you know, for these type of people. But the way that the island, you know, guards the people, it's just so weird. So yeah, if it intrigues you, check it out. Check out that #1 that came out last month. But if you enjoy the TV show, definitely pick up that #1. All right, last up from Valiant, we have Man OWar. So Exo is actually back on Earth now at this point in time. I think this is cover A, I was not too much of a fan of this cover art, like, at all, like, zero. You know, I wish there was another option for me to pick up on the shelf, but he only had a cover A. So again, he's back on Earth, Eric is back on Earth, but this entire issue is really going back to 393 AD, where he was, you know, where he originally grew up in. So this is really a lot of backstory of Eric, and I've really enjoyed, you know, getting more history of him. So, you know, after he's back on Earth, I think we're going to now get into the Harbinger Wars #2, which, man, I just cannot wait for. I think that actually comes out next week. So yeah, if you are going to be picking up Harbinger Wars, this one kind of like starts it off here, but yeah, can't wait for that one. So yeah, Man OWar. So guys, that's going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Should you enjoy what you see here, please like and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.